All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching us from or where you're joining us from. We thank you for joining us for our half-year 2025 investors call to discuss our company's half-year financial results for 2025. My name is Cynthia Monu. I'll be your host for today. I am the Client Experience Manager at Africa Prudential PLC. And I want to say another big welcome to our attendees, our management team, and everybody joining us today. We are pleased to have you here, whether you're joining as an investor or a partner or a member of the Africa Prudential team or part of our wider stakeholder community. Today's session is focused on providing you with a clear overview of our unaudited financial performance over the first 6 months of the year, the key drivers behind our results, and the strategic outlook for the rest of the year. We have structured this presentation to be very informative, very transparent, and forward-looking. But before I proceed to the business of the day, I would like to set some ground rules to ensure we have a smooth and productive session today. Please be aware that the webinar is being recorded for reference and for those unable to attend live. And the presentation will be followed by a Q&A session. So please feel free to drop your questions in the chat section by clicking the Q&A located at the bottom of your screen. We will address as many as possible during the Q&A segment at the end. It is also important to state that certain statements made during this call are forward-looking in nature, involving risk and uncertainties. These statements are based on our assumptions and projections, which may or may not materialize in the future. Therefore, it is possible for our actual performance to deviate from expectations. Neither Africa Prudential PLC nor its employees can be held responsible for possible deviations. With that, I'll proceed to introduce our speakers for today. So I am joined with our amazing leadership team who will be walking us through the numbers and sharing our strategic insights. First, we have our Chief Executive Officer, Catherine Nwosu. She's the Managing Director of Africa Prudential PLC. And it is very important to also state that we recently received a recognition as one of the 15 powerful women leading publicly listed companies in Nigeria. Congratulations once again, ma'am.
Thank you.
Congratulations. We also have our Chief Financial Officer, Taofik Giwa, who will be presenting our financial highlights and key performance metrics. So with that, I will quickly hand over to Catherine Nwosu to give an opening remark and thereafter take her presentation. Over to you, Catherine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on the part of the world where you're joining from. Distinguished shareholders, investors, analysts, and other stakeholders, I warmly welcome you to our half-year 2025 investor earnings call. Thank you for joining us today and for your continued trust in our company. This platform is always a valuable opportunity to engage directly with you, our esteemed stakeholders, as we share our performance highlights, key developments in our core business within the period under review, and provide clarity on our strategic direction. As we reflect on the first half of the year, we are pleased to share our financial performance and strategic initiatives that have positioned Africa Prudential as a resilient player in the capital market. At Africa Prudential, our commitment remains clear to consistently deliver sustainable value to our stakeholders while advancing innovation, digital transformation, and operational excellence. Despite the evolving macroeconomic environment, we continue to execute our strategy with discipline, resilience, and focus on long-term growth. Thank you for joining us as I take you through our company overview and operating environment. Africa Prudential PLC has been in existence since 1970. It started as a department of Legacy United Bank for Africa PLC. Subsequently, in 2006, the company was incorporated as a limited liability company and the name UBA Registrars Limited was adopted. In 2013, we changed our business name to Africa Prudential Registrars PLC, following the directive of the Central Bank of Nigeria, directing all banks to divest from non-banking businesses. Africa Prudential PLC was bettered. We became the first registrar to be listed on Nigeria Exchange Limited. And as of today, we are still the only registrar firm in Nigeria that is listed on a trading platform. Moving from there, that same 2013, we opened a rights issue for additional 1 billion ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, and that rights issue was oversubscribed. Using the proceeds from that rights issue, we were able to acquire USC registrars and other business programs. In 2014, we found the need to have some level of independence, and this led us into application development. We decided to use ourselves as a test case, and we developed a core registrar business application that went live in 2016. In that same 2016-2017, changed our name and rebranded to Africa Prudential PLC. That was to enable us expand into other business areas. And then we announced our business diversification while venturing into digital technology and in specifics, software development. The experience that we acquired, developing our core application, gave us the confidence to enter into this journey. In 2019, we launched in-house innovation lab, understanding that innovation will drive every business to succeed and to be sustainable. We also went into the development of various solutions for the capital market, the hospitality industry, the financial services sector, the cooperatives, and other sectors in the economy. By 2020, we continue to drive capital markets and other products and service offerings through artificial intelligence, data enrichment drive, process optimization, and customer satisfaction. The influx of COVID 2019 in 2020 did not stop our business in any way, because as at then, we're already able to work from home or any other environment. Next slide, please. And what is our purpose? Our purpose statement is to pioneer the use of technology in share registry and business solutions, driving innovation and efficiency to support the growth and success of our clients in Africa. And our vision is to lead Africa in leveraging cutting-edge technology to deliver efficient, secure, and scalable share registry and business solutions, expanding our expertise into diverse markets across the continent. And our core values are execution, excellence, and enterprise. Looking at Africa Prudential PLC at a glance, we are over 50 years in experience, with over 2.3 million shareholders supported on our platform. We are still the only listed share registration firm in Nigeria, and we have over 11.4 billion shareholders fund. We are physically located in 3 places in Nigeria: Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. But virtually, you can reach us from all over the world. With 72 employees, we have 3 ISO certifications to confirm our strength in business. We have the quality management system, ISO 22301/2019, the business continuity management system, as well as the information security management system. We are also CGR certified by the NGX. Next slide, please. Looking at our scorecard, we have managed over 60 equity registers, 38 bond transactions, over 16 mutual funds accounts. We have done over 15 right issues, private placements, public offers, mergers and acquisition, and what have you. Africa Prudential is experienced in the registrar industry in the capital market. We have also handled dollarized transactions, and we are available and ready to any transaction irrespective of the currency. Next slide, please. These are the leaders of Africa Prudential PLC, the people that are baking the cake that shareholders are enjoying, and they are led by my humble self. Next slide, please. Within the period under review, we witnessed the retirement of some of our board members, and these are the people that bettered Africa Prudential PLC. Our former chairman, Chief Mrs. Eniola Fadayomi, the former managing director of Africa Prudential PLC, Mr. Peter Shade, Mr. Samuel Wanze, and Mr. Peter Elumelu, our other non-executive directors, they retired within the first half of this year, 2025. During that retirement, we have new set of board members that joined Prudential PLC. The current chairman is Mrs. Christabel Onyejekwe. We have other directors that joined, Mr. Chidi Okpala, Mr. Oluwaseyi Abe, and Mr. Vincent Uko. They came in to replace the retiring directors. We welcome them on board, and we look forward to having a great time with them in this company. Now I'll move over to speak about the operating environment. The operating environment, please. The world economy is expected to slow to 2.8% in terms of the GDP growth rate in 2025, from 3.3% in 2024. Emerging economies are not left out. They are to slow too, but Sub-Saharan Africa is expected to have growth by 3.8%. The global inflation will fall to 4.3% in 2025 as energy and food prices drop. By 2026, inflation is expected to close at the pre-pandemic levels at 3.6%. Leaders are therefore expected to boost productivity and investment while keeping prices stable. Next. Also, at the global stage, the geopolitical tensions are expected to remain a key source of uncertainty in the second half of 2025, with ongoing conflicts in the East, trade frictions between major economies, and evolving alliances influencing global markets. Inflation, on the other hand, at the global level is expected to continue its gradual decline in the second half of 2025, supported by easing supply chain disruptions, energy prices. However, risk from geopolitical tensions and commodity market volatility may keep inflation above pre-pandemic level in this second half of 2025. On the monetary policy side, the global interest policy is likely to be muted in the second half of 2025 owing to lingering uncertainties, although we anticipate pockets of cuts due to economic growth concerns. Global growth could be subdued in the second half of this year as lingering trade tensions and weak global demand weigh on activities, though a sharp downturn is unlikely, bearing external shocks. Coming to the local market, there is resilience in Nigeria. The GDP growth rate actually increased from 2.98% in the second half of 2024 to 3.1% as at end of June 2025. The exchange rate favored the Naira as the exchange of the Naira to the dollar dropped from 1,628 Naira in Q2 2024 to 1,545 Naira in Q2 2025. The oil production experienced marginal increase from 1.36 million barrels per day in Q2 2024 to 1.52 million barrels per day in Q2 2025. The NPR rate experienced marginal increase from 26.3% in June 2024 to 27.5% as of June 2025, while the foreign reserve increased from 34.2% to $34.2 billion to $38.2 billion in June 2025. Looking at our capital market, the capital market witnessed bullish sentiments within the period under review. The market capitalization increased from 56.6 trillion naira in Q2 2024 to 76 trillion naira in Q2 2025. The all share index also enjoyed similar sentiment, moving from 97.831 in 2004 Q2 to 119979 in Q2 2025. The market is doing very, very well. And both at the African level and the global level, the market is doing well. A lot of regulatory trends has come up in 2025. Top among them is the treatment of unclaimed dividend. Unclaimed dividend of 6 years or more are expected to be transferred to the Unclaimed Fund Trust Fund, where they will be held in trust for the shareholders until they are claimed by the shareholders. But most importantly, dividends that were not yet statute barred as of December 31st, 2020, remains claimable by shareholders. Another important regulatory action was the introduction of the Accelerated Regulatory Incubation Program by the Securities and Exchange Commission to simplify onboarding for virtual asset service providers as well as digital investment service providers. This is to encourage innovation in the digital asset space. An exciting one is the transition to T+2 settlement cycle in the Nigerian capital market. This will take effect on the 28th of November, 2025. And I tell you, the market is gearing towards a T+1 or a T+0 in the nearest future. The Securities and Exchange Commission has continued to intensify enforcement by flagging several unlicensed operators, and they advise investors, please ensure that the operator you're dealing with is duly registered by the Securities and Exchange Commission. We'll now look at the implications of this key development, both at the global space, in our capital market, and our economy. The improving macroeconomic backdrop presents a strategic window for Africa Prudential to deepen its core offering and expand into adjacent sectors. Easing inflation and greater market stability could spur corporate actions and retail investment participation, boosting demand for registrar and digital engagement services. At the same time, persistent forex and structural headwinds require a focus on agility, innovation, and value-added solutions to sustain growth and relevance in a gradually recovering market. Africa Prudential is positioned to take up every opportunity provided by these developments. The capital market strong performance presents another opportunity for Africa Prudential to grow its core business through increased transaction volumes, dividend processing, and investor engagements. It also creates room for us to scale our digital platforms and introduce innovative services, reinforcing our position as a key enabler in the Nigeria's evolving capital market. The set new directive will require Africa Prudential to enhance our compliance level, upgrade settlement processes for T+2, and improve dividend record management. These changes also present opportunities to expand digital services and strengthen our market positioning through innovation and regulatory alignments. Distinguished shareholders and other stakeholders, thank you so much for listening to me. as I hand over to our CFO, Mr. Taofik Giwa, to take us through the financial performance position. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much, Catherine, for a wonderful and fantastic presentation so far. My name is Taofik Giwa, the Chief Finance Officer of the organization. I'll be taking everybody through the H1 2025 financial performance. From the position of the financial performance, our top earnings, gross earnings closed at 3.34 billion in the year 2025 as at the end of June, compared to 2.6 billion in 2024. That represents 62% year-on-year growth. For net operating income, we closed at 3.32 billion at the end of half year 2025 June, as against 2.3 billion in 2024, which represents a 6% growth. For operating expense, we closed at 1.34 billion as at half year 2025, as against 895 million in 2024. That represents a 49% growth. For profit before tax, we closed at 1.9 billion as at half year 2025, as against 1.13 billion in 2024, which represents a 75% growth. For profit after tax, we closed at 1.35 billion as at the end of half year 2025, as against 779 million in the year 2024, which represents 73% growth. The major drivers of these positive results this year compared to the year 2024 are better performance in our core registered business by 34% year-on-year. Our investable assets also threw out better returns and performance by 79% year-on-year. The revenue earnings from our new business lines, such as the e-product business, the probate business, the KYC and document management business, likewise other income, contributed significantly to the remarkable results we are all seeing on the face of our screen. I'll move to the financial position side of the business. The total assets as at the end of year 2025, as at the end of June 2025, closed at 41.35 billion as against 29.95 billion as at last year 2024, which represents a 38% growth. Shareholders' fund closed at 11 billion as at the end of June 2025, as against 9.61 billion as at the end of last year 2024, which represents a 15% year-on-year growth. Earnings per share dipped from 0.39 kobo at the end of 2024 to 0.34 kobo at the end of 2025. At this point, I'll be handing over the proceedings to our CEO, Madam Catherine Nwosu, to continue from this point. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Taofik. He spoke about our earning per share. If you recall, Africa Prudential actually gave out bonus shares to shareholders this year, bonus shares of 1-for-1. That's a very, very impressive one from Africa Prudential. So that was responsible for that earning per share position. Thanks once again, Taofik, for that position. I'll be speaking on our corporate strategy before I round up. What are our strategic pillars? We have 5 major strategic pillars that we're pursuing to make sure that we grow this company to the world-class level we intend to. Number 1 among them is to achieve sustainable business growth and development. We continue to aggressively grow our B2C shareholder business. Also sustain our B2B client growth momentum. We'll continue to adopt cautious investment strategy to make sure that shareholders do not lose their money. We'll continue to drive company-wide cost optimization so that we can make more money and pay more dividend to our investors. We'll expand into new segments and other regions across Africa. The second one is to drive product and service innovation. We'll continually enhance our experience through innovation, expand revenue via innovation, and gain competitive advantage with innovative solutions. The third pillar is to enhance our brand. We'll continue to drive loyalty and growth through strategic customer engagement. boost visibility and conversations and conversions with multiple channel marketing. We'll introduce a number of channels to engage our investors and other stakeholders. The fourth one is to foster people development. At the heart of everything we do is our people. Our people are the most treasured asset of the nation, and will continue to attract and retain talents through optimization initiatives. We'll foster a high-performance culture for collaboration and productivity. The fifth pillar, which is by no means the least, is to strengthen corporate governance and institutionalization. We'll work harder to strengthen controls, compliance, and risk management, noting a lot of the risk that is out there, regulatory risk, cyber risk, and the likes. We are not taking anything for granted, and we'll continue to improve key processes to boost efficiency in all our operations and key touch points. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished investors and stakeholders, at this point, I say a very big thank you for listening to me, and we are ready to take your questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Catherine, for that comprehensive perspective on our operating environment and, of course, the strategic priorities for the second half of the year. That was really, really comprehensive, and we appreciate all the works that the management and board are doing to grow Africa Prudential PLC. Say a very big thank you to our CFO for breaking down the numbers so clearly, and of course, the drivers behind our results and what helped to bring our strategy to life. Thank you so much. So we'll now move straight to the Q&A section, where I'll be taking a few questions that we've received so far. We have some questions we had received from Investors Relations email, and I'll be directing them to our speakers accordingly. So I have this question here from Nkem Johnson. It says, given the strong growth in gross earnings and profit before tax by 62% and 75% respectively, what were the drivers of these results, and what plans do you have to sustain the drivers for half year to 2025? I'll be directing this question to our financial officer, Taofik Giwa.
All right, thank you very much, Cynthia. Basically, the key drivers that led to that is better performance in our core registered business by 34% year on year. Also, our investable assets threw out better returns and performance by 79%. Also, the earnings from our new business lines, such as the products, probate, KYC, and management business. Likewise, other income contributed significantly to this. That's what I explained in the last presentation. So what we are going to do for the next 5 months is to ensure that we keep on the zeal, and to ensure that we keep what we are doing. We are of the opinion that we will close well at the end of the year and ensure that investors to the bank. That's what we plan to do. We keep on what we are doing, and we'll push harder, and we'll see to the end of the year in a good point. Thank you.
Thank you, CFO, for the response. So the second question is from Olabisi Adebanjo, and it says operating expenses increased by 49%, which is lower than the income growth. What specific cost optimization strategies were most effective, and do you see further room to improve cost to income ratios? I would also direct this one to the CFO. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Cynthia. Basically, what we did is to ensure strict compliance to budget and budgetary controls. All departments, we ensure that they kept to budget. All variances are queried on a monthly basis to ensure this doesn't go beyond budgets as approved. Also, we strengthened our procurement and bidding processes through our vendor committee. We ensure that all expenses are well vetted for, and competitive price has taken, and value for money are taken for every expense we do here. Likewise, our sourcing and estimated planning, we map out cost to measurable objectives. Basically, that's the strategy we use. We are still pursuing our strategies. We ensure that by the end of the year, we close our cost to income ratio at least at 5%. That's the target for the year. Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you, Taofik, for that clarification. It really helps to put things in perspective. So this next question is from an anonymous attendee, and it says, does Africa Prudential offer other services aside from your core offerings? Because I noticed you offer new solutions that the market is not aware of. Could you briefly tell us about these offerings? So this question will be directed to our Chief Executive Officer, Catherine. Over to you, Catherine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anonymous, for your question. I must say that Africa Prudential has consistently continued to diversify our business lines. Our journey into software development actually enabled us to create platforms and applications for use by other entities. We also offer probate and know your customer services and lots more. Our platform, our Invent platform, is actually a platform where a lot of plugins are expected to come in. That is taking us to the next level. And we assure our investors that you will be glad by logging on to our Invent application. You can download it from the Play Store, and please go there. It has a rich community where you can gain a lot of knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, MD, for that beautiful response. So this next question is from Ejiro Ojebe, and it says, SEC now requires dividends unclaimed for 6 years or more to be transferred to the unclaimed dividend trust fund, and direct companies to honor claims dating back to December 31st, 2020. So what steps has Africa Prudential taken operationally to ensure compliance? So this question is for the MD.
Thanks, Ejiro, for your question. Africa Prudential takes issues very seriously, and as a proactive company, the moment that they were given, changed a lot of things within the system. We put measures in place to ensure that we comply with the directives. And going forward, we will continue to transfer dividends that become 6 years to that transferred account. And we'll, as shareholders come forward to claim this dividend, we will liaise with the trust fund managers to make sure that dividends are paid to the shareholders. Thank you.
Thank you, MD. That's a beautiful plan to handle that situation. This next question is from John Abasi, and he's asking, can you please help me understand how your probate services works? I'm asking with regards to my late dad's shares. So this is also to MD. See you.
Okay, John, we know that a major problem that investors have is how their loved ones claim their assets when they are no more. And Africa Prudential has actually come up with this product that will assist families and loved ones to search and gather all the investments of their loved ones across different assets. And we have tried to make it easier. We know the process and the cumbersome nature of going around to gather these things and then coming to do the processes with registrars, with banks, and all that. Africa Prudential is taking all that stress away from you. Contact us through cxc@africaprudential.com, and we will help you go around, do the legwork, gather all together, working with our partners to make sure that you get back whatever belongs to your father. Thank you.
Thank you, MD. That's a very useful explanation, and I'm sure it's going to help our audience go about their probate inquiries accordingly. So this next question is from Chinedu Okafo, and it says, one recurring challenge in Nigeria's capital markets is the literacy gap, which limits participation and investors' confidence. What is Africa Prudential doing to close these gaps? MD, over to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Chinedu, for this very important question. Financial literacy is a very, very big challenge in this country. And as a proactive registrar, we have taken it upon ourselves to make sure that we'll do a lot of investor education. We organize webinars, and at those webinars, we address different challenges. Last month, we actually took on a webinar on probate, how people can go about claiming the assets of their loved ones. Prior to that, we also had a webinar on unclaimed dividend, what people need to do in order to claim their dividend. So we do webinars to help people understand how to solve this problem. We also provide market information through our technology platform, Invent. We have a community in that particular platform where people share ideas, people ask questions, and people's questions are answered. We also carry out road shows in different geopolitical zones across the country in collaboration with our clients and our regulator, the Securities and Exchange Commission. And because we understand that it's not everybody that is tech savvy, we go to them, we go to those areas, they come, they present their questions. We also take that time to speak to them to explain what they need to do about investments. We will continue to do this so that as more people as possible will come to understand the dynamics of investments and how to take the advantages of the opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, MD, for that response. So I'll just move over to the next question. And this one says, why was there a dip in earnings from 2024? This is from Michael Isua from the chat box. So I'll direct this question to our CFO to provide a response. Thank you.
All right. I think I need to clarify that part. I don't think earnings dipped. What dipped is the earnings per share, which the MD/CEO spoke to. And what is responsible for that is the bonus shares we gave, 1-for-1 bonus shares we gave. That led to the dip in the earnings per share, not earnings. For earnings, we did well, quite well last year, between last year and this year. So its earnings per share dropped because of the bonus shares we gave out, which is 1-for-1. That's the clarification I would like to make. Thank you.
Thank you, CFO, for providing that clarity.